I want to talk about the latest horror phenomenon that is now the highest grossing R-rated horror movie of all time, It. Did you see it? What was it about It that do you think caught fire? Because to me, it was not the scariest movie.
No, it definitely
but the opening, that opening of
Well,
It,
the opening is a masterpiece.
The opening of It?
The sewer sequence, there is a reason why it's like the scene that created 1,000 parodies, because it's that good. And it becomes that recognizable. No, the opening scene is a masterpiece. I don't think the movie, I only think the movie's okay.
But what is it about the clown? The clown, the monster's clown?
But your first question was, why is it that
Why is it called the highest grossing horror film?
Well, why did it catch on? Why did it catch on and really become a thing? I think it is actually the fact that as time has gone on, it's the book. I think as time has gone on, even more people have read the book, and the book has actually reached a classic status that it didn't have in '88. And it's one of those books that even if you didn't read it, you heard about it.
Yeah.
You knew somebody who read it. You might know somebody who was reading it. You know, oh my God, this is where I'm at now. Ooh la la, you know, and without anyone paying attention, other than the people that decided to make the movie, no one realized the pop cultural currency that Pennywise had and the entire concept of It had. I never read the book. When I watched It, I was like surprised. Oh, okay, well, yeah, I can see that the guy who wrote, you know, The Body, AKA Stand By Me, well, this is that writer, and then he's adding a thing to it, but I think it's very naked what it is. It's like It is basically Stephen King saw Nightmare on Elm Street and did his ripoff of it. The book It is Stephen King's ripoff of Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, he just replaces Freddy Krueger with Pennywise. And it's just exactly like, oh, okay, he sees Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, wow, that's a really neat idea. Oh, that's really clever. Okay, that's cool. Well, let me take that idea and let me do my version of it. Now, his version of it is going to be a 560-page novel as opposed to one-dimensional characters, at the most two-dimensional characters. He's going to have four-dimensional characters. And the whole history of every one of them, as far as the kids and their relationships with their parents and their parents' relationships in the town, and the whole town will be a thing. You know, he's a terrific writer in that regard. So he fills it full of minutia, and he fills it full of his good prose, and he fills it full of his good writing, which is what Wes Craven didn't have. Take away all that cake frosting and all the little frosting flowers that are put on it and all that. It's basically a ripoff of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Interesting.
Just baked inside of a gigantic
1,000-page cake.
1,000-page cake. Yeah, but the thing is also in the movie's a little dull. All right, you know, at a certain point, those kids aren't that interesting. I didn't quite buy their final triumph over Pennywise that much. Now, if you've talked to anybody who's read the books, now I'm just repeating what they're saying, I haven't read the book, everyone acknowledges that splitting it in two was really kind of the only way to go about trying to tell the story. However, anyone who's read the book says it's a travesty to the book, because it's the juxtaposition between the adults versus the kids, and the adults and back and forth is what makes the book so readable and what makes the book so good. It's structure itself that made the book such a beloved horror novel. But the movie can't do that. Having said all of that, I only thought the movie was okay. And I didn't really care that much for any of those kids. I'm really looking forward to the sequel. I want to see how the story ends. I haven't read the book. I'm really curious on who they cast as the adults with the kids. And I really do want to see how it turns out. And I don't know anything about how it turns out, but I have been told that it's far more horrible than I could have ever imagined, that what happens to the adults is truly fucked up, and that's almost unimaginable. And I've considered watching the miniseries so I can just see how it ends and not have to wait for the other movie, but I think I'm going to hold out for the next movie.
All right. And the last thing, I think of